Hello, and welcome to the second episode of our transformation guide. My name is Andrew Broach, or in Czech, Andrej Broš, and I am a host on a Czech YouTube channel, Symptoms of Transformation. And I got a question from a viewer, the question I want to answer to. So I made this video, what to do if you just awoke, because our lady viewer asked me, what would be your advice for those who have just awakened and are really confused to work on first? What could help them with their transformation at the beginning? I mean, like what information to look up or start with, a meditation to calm them down. What would you suggest? Uh, Thanks for the question, and I would like to answer that because you might you might you can find yourself in a situation that you just awoke. You, like we were talking about it a little bit in the previous episode, but what if you just start to see world differently? What if you start to awaken? There's going to be a lot of emotions, a lot of thoughts, and a lot of experiences. And for me, the main thing is to stay calm, and find people or channels like this that's going to show you and explain you that you are not alone in this, and there are millions of people around the world who are awakening right now or awakened in the past, and they all went through it, and they all changed their life. And I know the change can be scary. I remember myself when I was start to awake. I It was very new. The first 2 days I awoke, and I'm gonna talk about my awakening in some other episode. Uh, I spent almost 2 days crying, just laying on the bed and thinking about that my life was over. But in retrospective, I realize it was the beginning of my life. It wasn't an end of my life. It was just the beginning. And uh, in a few months, I started to feel great. Really, I was really high, not high on some drugs, but I was high with life, and my intuition started to grow. And well, we all have intuition, but I was more aware of it. I was more connected with my intuition. So uh, the main thing you should do is to calm yourself down, and there's going to be a lot of things happening. You may start losing friends. It's because we are all set. We have some settings, and when we change our settings, they not our settings doesn't correspond with other people, and we start to drift away, drift apart from them. So you might find it difficult to communicate with your old friends, with your family, maybe with your boyfriend or girlfriend, or wife or husband. And that's, I think, it's the process we need to experience, because when you lose some friends or some people around you, you will find or meet someone new who's going to be a much better friend. uh, like I said before, I'm talking with from my experiences and from experience of other people, and those experiences are very similar, and that's losing friends. seeing things differently. You start to believe in something, you lose belief in something, and that's normal. Because what's happening, it's that you have, like eggshell around you that may be called your ego, and that eggshell won't allow some change to come to our lives. You are basically in a fort, surrounded by walls, and you are just living in your own bubble, which is not penetratable. But when you start to evoke, you start to tear down the walls, you start to let possibilities to come in and to change your mind. When someone says to you, you changed, that you're different, you you need to tell them, thank you. I don't want to be the same. I don't want to be the same person all my life. There are people in the world, or people that I know, that are proud on the fact that they didn't change. And I think that our lives is about, transformation, ascension, or to go higher, just change your life and going to the right direction. And the finish line for me is happiness. Finish line for me is that you love your life, and when you're happy and when you're at peace with your life, you are reacting differently to people around you, and you are generally a better person. And that's something that should be one of the goals for us, to be a better person. And when you spend life or time with someone who, we call it vibrations, I don't really think it's the right word, but let's pretend we have some different vibrations. And when you vibrate at the same vibration as your friend, you've got common same topics. You're talking about sports, you're talking about news, you're talking about job, you are going to pub to get some beers. And then you start to awake, you start to get interested in new informations that was waiting behind the walls of your fortress. And then you start we don't like to judge something, or make some uh, um, well, I don't know the word, but it's all around the internet. When you try to grade something, or you do a review of something, so you're starting to getting interested in another topics, so you are changing your vibrations. We can look at it at you are going down or up, and then your vibrations are not at the same line, and your friends want to speak about football, jobs, their girlfriends, and you are trying to tell them something about universe. You are trying to say, hey, you have a past lives, you can get something like regression. Do you believe in aliens? Do you believe in creator or something like that? And they are looking at you and saying, what the hell, man, what are you talking about? I want to talk about tomorrow's game, yesterday's football game, or as you call it, soccer, but that's not the right word. Because it's football. All around the world it's football, not soccer. Okay, that was just little implementing of our European thoughts. Okay, and they're looking at you and saying, well, I don't understand. You're crazy, and they're starting to tell you are going crazy. But from our point of view, they're the ones who's crazy, because in the last episode I was talking about meaning of life, that for a lot of people, meaning of life is to get married, father some child, pay taxes, go to work, then go to retirement, and then die, and that's it. And you're saying them, no, that's not everything. You know, the life is about more. It's more about spiritual experience. You know, you do meditation, you feel great, you're happy, you are thinking about what's there, what's the things that we cannot see, and they are saying you're crazy. Okay, so from their point of view you are crazy, from our point of view they are crazy, because we don't understand each other. And that's when your relationships can start to, you know, wither or be a lot more and more fragile. But you're gonna find someone who will understand you. And I can say that since I awoke at 2013, I lost 95% of my friends. And I'm not kidding. You know, just one. I can, from my childhood and from my growing up, I have one friend, and I still don't really understand. We really don't understand each other. We respect each other, but we are not talking about God or creator or universe. But since the 2013, I met a lot of friends, and those friends I knew maybe a year, and they were a much bigger friends that I was friends with since childhood. Where when I had a friend that I was best friends like 10 years, more than 10 years. And then we just met each other, and we were staring at the ground and thinking about what I'm going to say, because I knew that he doesn't care for what I'm saying, and I didn't care for what he was saying. So we just like stopped hanging out. And after 3 years, I saw him. I went back to my hometown and get a beer with someone, with some friends. And I saw him after 3 years, and I was just like, wow, that there's so much difference. I mean, he had an alcohol problem, and that's one of the things I want to talk about in the next video. And then I'm just, what the hell? This was my friend, and when we were friends, I was like, this is gonna be a friend forever, you know. And now, a few years later, it was like a complete stranger for me. So you're gonna start to lose friends, and that's natural. That's just how it is. You don't have to, but you can just, you know, grasp or grab something and not let it go. And no matter of time, you're gonna realize that you're not happy with them, but they are not happy with you. So it's mutual. It's not something that, because you, even if you are going to listen to yourself, he was gonna say, you know, well, together yesterday I was, you know, shopping, and I saw this purse and it was great, and then I went to a movies and I saw this movie, great. And you're gonna say, oh, okay, yesterday I was you know, listening to a great YouTube channel, Symptoms of Transformation. You know, that's how a lot of people are talking around the world. And that sexy guy there, he was talking about a you know, awakening process, about transformation, about how you lift up your vibrations to a higher plane of existence. And he will be like, yeah, okay. But both of you are, you know, it's like when a professor of archaeology is talking to a professor of chemistry. It's just like, you know, they don't understand each other. So don't be worried about that, because you're gonna find a better friends. And I don't mean like better, just that those before they were evil, but you're gonna find friends that you're gonna have a lot of common, with them. So, and another thing, it's great to just find some Facebook pages. Here in Czech Republic, we've got a lot of projects or Facebook pages or YouTubers that are, talking about those stuff. I don't know from which country you are looking from. If you like, you can write down in the comments. I know that right now it's, it needs to be, uh, uh, it's gonna be more and more famous around the world. I know it. So if you want to write from which country you are looking at, and even if you are Czech living in foreign country, you can write whatever you want. I would love to hear from which country you are looking from, and you can find some pages there with people who are going to the same things. Like in the US, they have a lot of anonymous alcoholics groups, and I don't really believe in that as much as they do. But it's about coming to a circle of people and talking about your problems. Get inspired by some problems or solutions of other people. And it's the same thing on a Facebook page or a YouTube. You can comment there. You can watch someone talk about their problems. You can relate to those problems, and you can understand or find out that you are not alone. And even if you feel like the people around you doesn't understand you, and I I heard from my family so many times that I'm crazy. I'm in some kind of a cult. That one time my family member said to me, and I need to translate it, uh, some in English. Like, I'm saying very, very softly, go to hell with your freaking psychological bullcrap and go back to your cult. And that was when I said to the person, like, whatever you're thinking of, it's gonna get back to you. So you should start thinking positively more. Okay. And that was it. And that was it. And if you saw Matrix, movie Matrix, there's a theory, or in the Matrix, people who are connected to Matrix for us is the people who believe mainstream medias, and believe the official truth, and doesn't care about spiritual things. They are connected to Matrix, and they come here. Sorry, and if you try to break down their walls, their eggshell, their bubble, an Agent Smith appears in them, and he starts to go after you, kicking around themselves. Just don't tell me that. I don't want to hear it. And they get angry. Then they got frustrated, and they just try to silence you, or be mean, be angry. So you back off. Agent Smith goes away, and they are just living happily in their fortress again. Those people for me are people with a limited point of view. They are like horses that they have a, I don't know how to say it in English, but they have something around their eyes, so they cannot see around them, so they don't get distracted. And those people are just looking at things or world in very, very limited way. uh, and and we are coming to another part of just awakening, is that you cannot save or awake the whole world. And a lot of people, including me, uh, after I woke, I was, as you can imagine, holding a sign that end is near, pray to Jesus, and going on a square and just end is near, you need to repent. And so it's the similar thing. You are going from house to house to your friends and they're just saying them, no, everything is different. You need to awake the government conspiracies, and there's a lot of world around there, and you can feel meditation and connecting yourself to a higher plane of existence. And they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you really got crazy. And I was doing that, and I lost most of the friends. And even one friend was really, really angrily yelling at me to shut the hell up. And I in that time I thought he was gonna punch me. So I stopped doing that. I just, calmed myself, and I was just sitting and started to emitting this inner peace and light within myself. And a lot of people start to come to me to ask for answers. And the same friend that was yelling at me and was really angry at me came to me and said, you were talking about, meaning of life. What were you talking about? And he okay, like I said, some of the he voluntarily came to me and asked what I was talking about. But when I was pushing him, when I was, making a pressure on him, I was just like, wake up, man, everything is different. He was, pushed away by me, and when I calmed down, he come to me and ask me for an answers. So the main thing for you to do is not you're gonna be happy, and maybe for a little period of time you're gonna think you're better than people around you, because in the position, like, I know it, they are all living a lies, they are sleeping, they are sheeple, and and I'm now more open to those things. But remember, few months, years ago, you were same. Everybody has their steps that they need to do, or walk on the steps to get to the point they are in present. And because you awoke at 20, when you were 20 or 30 or 40, you cannot be angry at people who didn't awoke in their years. Okay, so you need to be tolerant that everybody has their own way or their own journey that they need to walk, and some of them chose not to awake, like never awake, and that's their choice. And if we think we are good enough, we are righteous to awake them, that's wrong. I'm making this video, I'm making a symptoms of transformation, or my past projects, and working on a internet radio. People chose to play my broadcast or streams. People chose to listen to me. People chose to click on this video and find out something that they may even didn't know. But I'm not going on the streets and play my stream. I have right, I'm right, and I have answers to your questions. That's a little bit pushy, and that's what you don't need to do. So the basic thing is to find people who think in the same way as you, and you can, start to, um, well, we are. There's a word evolving, but I know I don't think it's the right way to say it. Develop, okay, develop, blossom, evolve, grow in, progress, shape up, proceed. Okay, so you can develop its personal development. I was talking in the last video. I said evolving, evolvement, which is not the correct term. So you can talk with people who are interested in the same topics as you are, and you can start. When I was speaking about that friend that I had at, well, when I was growing up, we were going for a beer, and uh, we were talking like hours and hours about not spiritual stuff, but we were talking about things that really make sense, about our feelings, about what's what was really happening. And then a few years later, it was just, a television, football games, job, and what happened when he was hammered. And I and then I met some friends that, and we were having the same discussions, but in the spiritual way. So I spent hours, literally, one one time I spent over 10 hours of talking with my friend about meaning of life, about how we experience the spiritual things, about meditations, and uh, well, uh, extended state of meditation, enhanced, maybe expanded, yeah, expanded states of uh, uh, consciousness, and those are the people that are worth it. So you may get even scared. Mm, when you awoke, you can feel uh, fear, and because it's unknown. It's something we know it because we have a lot of past lives. So it's not unknown to us, but it's unknown to our mind, to our ego, maybe. So we might get scared, and we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what what what's gonna happen to us. We we might get a little bit nervous, you know. But that's okay, because we always step into unknown. Uh, when you got birthed, you were just stepping to unknown world. You were stepping to a unknown things, like a toilet, for instance, or eating, or to school. You're always getting to something unknown, so you don't have to be afraid of it, because you made it thousands of times before, in this life and in the past life. So what's the point of being afraid? But I know, when there's an emotion, logic doesn't apply. I know that. If you have some emotions in you, you can say hundreds times of I'm so used to talk about those things in Czech that it's really hard to say it in English. So you are just saying, and sitting and just thinking what could happen, where am I going, and I'm losing myself. I wanted to show you. It's gonna take a little bit. Uh, the picture that I had for a long time during my transformations, when I was going through changes, that was a long time for a wallpaper for a long time, and that's how you may be feeling right now. And this is how I felt. I was feeling like I was disappearing. Uh, this picture, I found it like 8 years ago. Now it looks like Avengers Endgame, but this is, oh no, Endgame, the one that was before Infinity Wars. Yeah. So that was how I was feeling. I was feeling like I'm losing myself, that I'm dying a little bit inside, and that's exactly what's what is awakening. You are dying and you are rebirthing again. You are, like a phoenix. You rise up from the ashes and just start to live a new life. And you can choose to take your old problems with you, or you can start over. Uh, when you are unconscious, oh well, no, it's not unconscious. Yeah, unaware. That's maybe more. Uh, when you are when you are unaware of your state or your problems or your emotions, you don't really know yourself. You only think that you know yourself, because whatever you are saying, whatever you are doing, whatever you are reacting to, it's not really you. It's just some of your programming. It's just something that the school, parents, or friends, or people around you just programmed you and persuade you to believe in something and be someone. And now when you start to, tear down the walls, you are opening yourself to unlimited possibilities. And I know that the spirituality has a well, bad mojo around it. A lot of people are making fun of it. What I'm saying here is not give me money, I'm gonna enlighten you, or go to my seminars and I'm gonna change your life. I'm doing YouTube videos for free. I don't want anything. I just want to help you be more happy. Because whatever I'm doing and whatever you're doing in your life, for me, it's important to ask one simple question: am I happy? Am I really happy when I'm going to work, when I'm going home, back to my wife, back to my kids? Am I really happy? Is this really the life I want to live? Is this really what I really want inside of me? Am I truly happy? And when you're happy, a lot of things in your life is gonna change. A lot of things will get better, and you're gonna be more happier, and you're gonna act more nicely, or more pleasant to people around you. You're not gonna be, frown and angry, and when someone walks around you, you're gonna, just be angry and mad. You're gonna be happy, and that's something what should be a life goal of everyone in the world, just to be happy. Because if everyone could be happy, I don't think there's going to be much wars and bad stuff happening around the world. And that is the, because a viewer asked me for my advice, what, where to go, what should be your direction. And I think it should be happiness. And happiness is through, working on yourself, like I said in the last episode, personal development, ascension, or how should I put this? Well, I'm gonna ask my uh, smart dictionary, development, evolution, evolvement. So I was right. uh, and maybe. No, I was not. Okay, so self evolvement, self development, it's just the progress, the expansion you can do with yourself. Uh, uh, so don't be afraid. Don't think you're alone in this. Don't think you are going crazy. And you know why? There's a there's a difference between those people who think they are going crazy and the people who are crazy. And the main reason is that the people they are crazy, they don't know they are crazy. So um, so when you have this voice that's been telling you, oh, don't you uh, do you think you overreact, do you think you are maybe going mental, so you are still self-aware about your condition, while the crazy people, they think they're normal. And that is just a trap for me, because they are just acting um, you know like a psychos, and they think they are normal, and that's the problem. So when you think you're going crazy, it's the better state that don't think you're going crazy. That's what I think. And find some meditations. uh I need to admit something. I don't meditate a lot. I've got my own method, my own uh way how I work on myself. So I'm using a pendulum, and I'm working with a you know charts, and working spiritually with those up there. So I don't meditate a lot, but the meditation is free. It's not time consuming, and it it may helps you a lot. And a lot of people are saying like, I can concentrate and I fall asleep. Okay, so practice. Uh, When you do something and you don't make it right, you don't throw away the chance to learn it. You When you were doing your driver's license, you didn't sit in your car when you were 18, and the instructor said, go, okay, start the car and go, and you said, I don't know how, and he said, you're stupid, and you step out and go away. No, you were learning day by day how to drive. When you were driving with manuals, of course. uh okay. I need to say one thing. I have a lot of past lives that are situated in the USA. And when I was a little, when I was trying to aware things around me, I was always feeling like USA is my home. I was there when we were colonizing USA, killing Indians. I was there in the Civil War, and I was in my past life. Before this, I was I was in the USA, and I find it out. I even find myself in a I don't know how to say it in English. Uh, Chronicles. Okay, like I memorial record annals. I found my name. I find my date of birth by pendulum, and then I found myself in records. So I was so I'm really loving USA. Not how they act on to the rest of the world, but I really love the nature, people there. And my biggest dream since I was a little boy was to go there. So I know a lot about US culture. I watch US films, US YouTubers, a lot of documentaries, and I have some, memories from my past life. So I'm gonna make a lot of jokes on America, USA, but don't take it personally. I think it's even interesting for you to know something about Czech Republic or the rest of the Europe, because Europe is very has a lot of diversity. You know, like every country has their language, money. Well, not right here. It's the uh, beeping euro, and so I want to show some difference between USA and Europe and Czech Republic. So I wanted to explain this, that I have a calling that when I was little, I saw some movies or pictures of USA, you know, some countries or states or cities, and I was looking at it and was saying like, this is my home, this is where I belong. And it took me a long time to accept that I am here in Czech Republic, that I'm Czech right now. But in past lives, I was, you know, lots of things. So past lives and future lives, we're gonna cover that in another video. This video was for the what to do when you just awoke. So the main thing is to start to recognize your problems and try to solving them. You know, just don't sit in a corner and cry and, you know, saying it's hard, I feel the pressure, and I want to kill myself. And that's completely natural thing. I wanted to kill myself 3 times maybe in the past. It's because there's a very strong pressure for change. It's in Czech, and I don't know if it's the same term in English. We call it a dark night of the soul. We are saying that. Maybe I can say something in Czech so you can maybe start to learn Czech. So dark night of the soul, we call it temná noc duše. Duše is soul. So this is something you can experience in your life when there's the main description of a dark night of the soul, not Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's movie, is that there's a strong transformational pressure that is applied to you by your soul, those who are there, or we call them like guardian angels and higher self or over ego or creator source, you know, and they just want you to change. Then they want you to start, you know, transform your life, transform your bad negative emotions and try and transform them into something good, something positive. And it could be a lot of pressure, but remember, you chose that. And you as a soul really chose when you're gonna awake, when you're gonna be born, which parents you're gonna have, and you chose lots of things. So again, you are not a victim. You are not in a state of feeling of a victim, because you chose all of this before you jumped here into this body. So if you want to look at our videos, when I was doing a therapies and seminaries and all those things with people, one time from hundreds of people, one person came and told me she didn't believe in past lives. Well, I feel a little bit sorry for those people, because then the main motivation in your life is fear. Because when you think that you're born, you live, and you die, and that's it, you're gonna be, you know, hoarding stuff and, you know, just be hung up on on material stuff, on physical stuff, and you're not gonna enjoy your life with with oh, I need to find some other word, with the ooh, that's what's happened from time to time. You can enjoy your life with knowing, sorry, that there's gonna be a lot of more lives. So you don't need to do everything now, because you can do it later. And when you die, you go up to the waiting room, and then you just go back here to a human body. If you want, you can go to other planets and all those stuff. But we will cover that in another episode. So when this girl came to me and said, I don't believe in past life, I was like, yeah, okay, it's really not my thing. But most of the things I'm saying are based on the past lives, or lives we had in this uh, particular uh, um, time code, time lapse, or in this you know because there are some parallel universes and parallel realities and all those stuff. We cover that later. So I really understand that you don't believe in that, but then the most of things I'm saying are not applicable to you. Okay. uh, so you can be here, but if you don't believe in that, the a lot of things I'm saying will not make sense. So look at yourself and started thinking about if you believe in that or you don't believe in that. And both of opinions are okay. It's just how it is. There's nothing good, there's nothing bad. It's just how it is. But if you want to work on yourself, and you want to develop yourself personally, you need to understand that not all problems or good things in our lives are a result of present life. It can be an echo from a past lives, and it can be something you can take with you to a future lives. So if you want to work on yourself, if you want to transform yourself, if you want to ascend yourself, there's some basic things you should study, uh, and those are the things that I will be speaking about on next videos. So there's a lot of things you should do when you awoke, but the main thing is don't be afraid. Don't try to save the world. Try to find someone who understands you, who is going through that process in the same time as you, or they were going through that process before, and they are in different state, and they can give you a good advice to what to do. And don't be afraid of losing friends. Don't be afraid of the changes that can happen to your life, like a different job and different partner, girlfriend or boyfriend, or different hobbies, different interests. I was really fighting with that, because I love some of the TV shows or YouTube channels or people or informations that I was reading or listening or watching before, and then I was just like, what? How could I watch that? It's well, maybe it's horror movies. I was watching horror movies. I was afraid. I was scared all the time. And now, since I awoke, I just can't watch it, because it's making me uncomfortable, and I don't feel great, and I don't feel happy at the time when I was scared, and just watching something, and you feel like you are you are shriveling inside, and you are just, whoa. that's just not something I want to experience anymore. So there will be a lot of changes. There will be things that might frighten you, that may be scary or unknown. But believe me when I say that everything I experience or everything that happens me in the past, from this point of view, with the present point of view, I don't see anything negative. When I lost my girlfriend to my best friend, when I quit several jobs, when I was on the brink of death, and I can talk about that in next videos. When I was, in debt, and I didn't have any money. I was ill. I was, angry. It all came to the point of right now, and right now I'm happy and I'm living the life, not in every way, but more and more I work on myself. I'm making my life in a way I wanted it deep inside of me since I was a tiny, tiny soul going into a tiny, tiny body in my mother's body. So that's 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 the way you should go. Looking back and saying and realizing, like, that life I lived, I don't want to live that life anymore. I was different person. And you know scratch that. You can judging it like I was better or worse person. You were someone different, and our lives is always about evolving. And the people who are staying at the one place, well, it's their way. And I'm not saying they are doing bad job or they are doing bad things, but for me, it's always the difference from right here, right now, and the state I was before. So I think that's gonna be all for this video. I'm just gonna look at the question again, and if there's something, well, I didn't save it. Okay, so I will not see the question. I'm gonna look at the question. Nobody write me anything. I mean, like, what information to look up or start with a meditation to calm them down? What informations? Okay, so basically, you need to learn informations that are making you feel better. So when you play news or read the news, and they are like, oh, war there, and and we the virus, and oh, people are dying, and somebody ran over with somebody with bus, and do you really need to know those kinds of informations? I mean, like, yeah, the Britain is leaving European Union. That's just something big, and you should know something about that. But a lot of news, like bus crashed and few people died. Yeah, it's sad, but do you need to read about it every day? And when you look at the news, you realize that most of the news are negative, tragic, sad, and you're reading them, and then you click the X at the top corner of your screen, and you're just like, yeah, nothing. It 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 doesn't have sense. The life has no sense. Everything is bad. Everybody is killing each other. There is a death everywhere. And is that really a state of mind you want to be in for the rest of your day? So for people, I really recommend something that will always bring tears in my eyes and always brighten my day. And that's a YouTube channel. Or if you're gonna write into a YouTube search bar, you're gonna write a real life heroes. That's so nice, because there's videos about people saving each other, doing good stuff, doing good deeds to each other. And that's something you should focus on, not just completely ignoring the negative stuff in the world, but really try to think about which news you are, uh, reading. I can give you an example uh, of a news. Okay. Every third patient with a virus dies, claims a British study. I'm reading in Czech, so I'm going to translate it. Another. In a front, crash, two cars, kid died, and second kid is in critical condition. And next news is driver died on the train crossing, and three members of his family. There was a car chase and everybody crashed. And that's just so meaningless. Those people are sad, but those things are sad, but those things really touch lives of people who are really close to those person, not you. When you're sitting here, I live near Prague, not in Prague. Spoiler alert, I don't like Prague. Not Prague like city, but lots of people and tourists. Well, or not right now. So I live. So you are sitting next to Prague, and there's someone in, I don't know, Berlin, who dies in a car crash, and like, why should I care? There are a lot of people dying every day from various reasons, and why should I read about deaths of other people? So try to pay attention, or as we say, give attention to things that are positive, creative, the things that make your day brighten up. So that's some of my advices, and we're going to talk about more and more in next videos. So you can thumbs up, please write to the comments from where you are watching. If you have some questions, just ask me. If you got some feedback, just type it there, like you're an idiot, or you are great, or you have a nice beard, and this is, I was trying to cut some sausage, and I cut my thumb. So it's hanging by a thread. So this is why I'm here, like hurt person. It's not because nowadays there's a lot of things that are taken like fashion, you get no, it's not fashion. I don't wear any necklaces, I don't wear any rings. I'm just a guy in a shirt. Okay, thank you very much, and see you in the next episode, and good night. And I'm sending best regards from Czech Republic to the whole world who is watching. Okay, and share us to other people if you want them to start to listening some, I hope, positive informations, and start their own transformation. Good night.